Now, as the City of Tshwane continues its aggressive disconnection campaign, more and more people are coming forward claiming they were unlawfully disconnected. The defaulters include government departments and embassies who collectively owe more than 1 billion rand. Some businesses are now approaching the courts for relief, a move the city says they will vigorously oppose. Meanwhile, those without financial resources are left in the dark or worse, still with only a trickle of water. eNCA's Barry Bateman is tracking developments and joins us now. Good afternoon, Barry. Before we get to the city itself, just talk to me about these business owners and their disputes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Well, earlier today I was speaking to the spokesperson for the University of Pretoria as well as a centre manager. In the University of Pretoria's case, they were threatened with disconnection last week Thursday at their high performance centre for owing an estimated 34 million rand. But they explained that this was not for water or electricity. This was an amount for rates, which they disputed because it linked to an evaluation of the property. Despite this and the existing dispute, they were going to be cut. They complained that they've got about 200 different bills that they receive every month from the city for all their properties. Everything is up to date except this one facility where there is a dispute on the rates. Despite this dispute that exists, they had to cough up because they simply couldn't afford to have the facility going without electricity. In the centre manager's case, they own a popular strip. It's called in Linwood Road, where all the students hang out. They say they also dispute an electricity account. It's a long-standing issue with a faulty meter. Despite this, they were cut. They had to go to the High Court in Pretoria to get an interdict against the city, and only by Saturday was the power restored and they could continue trading. So much unhappiness from many consumers who claim that they're being billed unfairly, and despite disputes existing, they get cut anyway.
No, that's a very interesting one where it's based on rates and now they get cut. But I mean, I must say it's commendable that you've got the city actually doing something. They must recoup monies owed to them, especially after what we heard with Eskom stating that they owe them around 600 million. So yes, they should just get up and go and cut where they need to cut. But it seems it's a mess now. I mean, even yesterday I was speaking to the theatre, the South African theatre, and they were also cut. They're now back reconnected, but they also have disputes. So have you spoken to the city to find out if they're looking to expedite the issue around these disputes?
Yeah, I have spoken a short while ago. I spoke to the MMC for Finance. But just a quick point, what you talk about there, the people I've spoken to, they say, listen, we don't have an objection to the City of Tshwane cutting off defaulters. They actually applaud it because they fully believe that if you're in arrears, you must pay for your services. They're saying if you're going to do that, at least get your accounts in order first. Now, to what the MMC for Finance told me, he said they don't just arrive at a building unannounced. He says there's an entire process that they go through, which includes a 30-day notice, then a 2-week notice and another week thereafter before it gets to the point that they come and cut. He says if a company or a consumer has a particular dispute, they should be raising it long before it gets to the stage of a credit controller arriving at the business. My question to him was, well, are you satisfied that all your accounts are up to date, that the mechanisms that are in place to allow consumers to come and raise these particular issues are up to scratch? Well, the MMC, Peter Sutton, he insists, yes, it might not be 100%, but in most of the cases, he says their accounts are accurate and what they're doing is well within the law. He gave the example. He said that there had been about 200 disconnections. I think that was the figure that he provided there, but it was certainly many hundred of disconnections since they started this campaign. There have been only about 10 matters that have been taken to court as a dispute to have them reconnected. Of course, not all of them have been successful.
I hope that the accounts are in fact updated because, like you say now, this is going to be scrutinized by the courts because most of these business people are petitioning the courts. Talk to me about those that are taking the route to go to court.
Well, what we had was a business last week. I was actually at the premises where this was in Clubview in Centurion area. They were cut off there. The owners of that particular property immediately went to the High Court, got an urgent interdict, and it was successful. But what the city's response to that is that these business owners are doing these urgent interdicts at such short notice. The city doesn't even have an opportunity to file proper papers. Therefore, the courts invariably rule in favor of the applicant. This is what the city's saying, is that they will challenge these interdicts when it comes to the return date. And they insist that the campaign will continue and that their accounts are up to date.